So in the last day, both light bulbs in my bathroom went out, and I have not had time to go get new ones. So I'm using a headlamp, and it's working pretty well so far. I need new light bulbs. I need new light bulbs. Good morning, it is Wednesday, and this is lemonade, it's not coffee. It's just a spill proof thing. As you can tell, I'm wearing my sweet new Run Wander Wonder shirt, and I'm really excited about it. And eventually I'll stop talking about it. But for now, I'm gonna keep talking about it. So, yesterday was kind of a small episode. Obviously, I didn't really get a chance to film very much, but I had a good day. I did track, and it was a great workout. Felt super strong, so I was really excited about that. And after, I ended up staying there for a little while to chat with one of our Race Lab people about running shoes and running form. I know a few episodes ago, I gave a running mechanics clinic for some Race Labbers, so obviously running mechanics are a thing that I enjoy and that I like to think I know quite a bit about. And in the conversation, it just made me think of something that I thought would be fun to share on Shenanigans. And that is, I often get the question, like, what is the best running shoe? Like, what kind of running shoe? Oh, I have Nikes. Oh, I have Brooks. Oh, I have Asics. The short answer is there is no best running shoe, because everybody's feet are so different. And, well, I mean, like, there's trends, but everybody has their own preferences, and there's no one running shoe brand that's going to be better than the other. The big trend right now is the ultra cushion stuff, so like the Hokas and the Ultras, like a lot of cushioning. There's nothing necessarily wrong with that if that is the right shoe for you. The problem comes when the blanket statements of, oh, these shoes are great for everybody and everybody should wear them. Those statements are not reliable, because if I wore ultra cushion shoes, it would destroy me. But there's definitely people out there that need it. So it's really important when talking about running shoes to consider that it just is very variable, depending on your foot structure, depending on your stride. A shoe is never going to fix an incorrect stride. So if your running form is off and you're doing things that are sending stresses up your knees and up into your hips and through your shins and all that, then no amount of running shoe is going to help. And in fact, if you're running incorrectly, for instance, if you're heel striking and you're sending a lot of that stress, a lot of that impact up your bones instead of your muscles, which is how we're supposed to do it, then more cushioning might actually be bad, because they've done some studies with some pressure pads and measuring impact, measuring stresses through the body with gymnasts and with runners, and they actually found that the more they had them run / do tumbling and stuff on a long mat that had pressure sensors underneath, and they actually found that the thicker the mat, the harder people fell, and the thinner the mat, the softer they fell. And that was because their body is naturally looking for a stable ground to anchor itself on. And so when there's a thicker mat, the body is going to naturally try to drive through that in order to find the stable, solid ground. And when the mat was thin and the body was able to find that quickly, then the body would naturally kind of prep itself and use its natural shock absorption in the muscles and everything. So if your running form is correct, a super cushioned shoe is not going to be terrible because you're already using your muscles to absorb impact to begin with. If your running form is incorrect, your body's going to be trying to drive through all that cushioning and is going to actually cause more stress, more impact, and can lead to injuries and shin splints and things like that. So, and again, this is pretty generalized, but it's just something to keep in mind. You know, a lot of people will get like a pair of Hokas or a pair of Ultras, and at first they'll think they're great because, oh, I feel like I'm running on a cloud and da-da-da-da-da. And then within a few weeks, they're experiencing shin splints, they're experiencing things like that. And it's not necessarily the shoe, it's the running form. No shoe will ever fix incorrect running form. So before spending $200 on a pair of shoes, find yourself a coach, find yourself a person who knows running mechanics, and work with them to fix your running stride. And then based on that, you can decide what kind of shoe you want to get. So when people ask me what kind of running shoe should I get, it's really dependent on your stride, dependent on your foot structure, depending on a lot of strength things. So like the reason why minimalist shoes aren't good for everybody is because they require kind of a more stable ankle, a more stable knee, a more stable chassis in order to function right. Because if you don't have stability, like naturally, if you don't have like a natural stable stride, then a minimalist shoe is going to be detrimental because you're not going to be able to control the motion of your foot all the way. And so that's when you start needing, you know, a shoe that has support, a shoe that has stability, things like that. The healthiest thing is to progressively strengthen your foot and strengthen your chassis, so to speak, in order to be able to control your own foot motion naturally instead of having a shoe do it for you. But that's a progressive, slow, long process. It's not like you can just go and buy a pair of shoes, a minimalist shoe, and then hope that your body will just catch up. You know, that's one of the reasons why people ran into problems with the Vibrams, the 5-finger shoes, the toe shoes, is because they would go from wearing like a motion control or a stability shoe and go straight to wearing Vibrams where their foot isn't strong enough to manage or to control its motion through a stride, and so that's where injuries happen. So it has to happen progressively. I wear Vibrams on an occasion. It's not often, but I do wear them. If anything, it's more just to walk around, but I do wear them occasionally for short runs, and I do notice that there's a difference. My feet are a little more activated, they're a little more engaged. My calves are more engaged because I'm used to wearing a 6mm drop shoe instead of just a 0 drop shoe. So the calves get activated a little more and my calves get sore. But again, I do it in small doses so that it helps my regular running. If I did everything in Vibrams right away and I was training for an ultra or even a marathon and I just did Vibrams, then I could risk injury. So it has to be progressive. Everything in exercise, everything in fitness, everything always has to be progressive. So you don't go and just deadlift 400 pounds on the first time you go deadlift. Like, you have to work up to that. You have to build strength. So that's the same thing with the feet. If you're used to wearing a stability shoe or a motion control shoe that literally controls the motion of your foot all the way through the stride, and you want to transition to something a little more natural, then you need to do that progressively, and you need to do exercises to strengthen your chassis, to strengthen your stability in your ankles and your feet and your knees, everything like that, so that the transition can happen and in a healthy way. So that is the spiel. What's the best running shoe? Whatever shoe works for you. And in fact, the best running shoe is good running form. Improve your running form first, and then you can look into other options for shoes. For now, you know, while you're improving your running form, I would just get the shoe that works for you. And most running shoe stores are going to have some kind of assessment where they're going to look at your stride, they're going to do maybe some pressure tests to see what your arch looks like, things like that, and they're going to suggest a shoe. And that's all fine. that's a good thing, because a lot of times those people are going to suggest the correct shoe. I would be wary of like add-on sales, and I know some friends of mine are going to hate me for this, but I would be wary of stores that try to add on like an additional like orthotic or something like that. Orthotics are really, really only for people who need them, who have like an abnormal thing going on in their foot. They're not for everybody, and so there are some places that will try to sell everybody an orthotic, and that's just not right. Like the shoe itself, whatever shoe you need to get, whether it's a neutral shoe or a stability shoe, if you try it on and if it works for you, then that's all you need. You don't need the additional support of an orthotic, unless that's like a podiatrist recommended thing where you've actually had issues in the past and your doctor has said you need to have this and this. And then in that case, those orthotics are going to be much more expensive and much more specific to you than just something that they kind of mold to your foot while you're at the store. That's it. So I don't know how much else I'm going to be able to film today. I'm going to work right now, and then I have a meeting with my family. So this might be the entire episode. Hopefully it was interesting and helpful maybe. And I would love to hear your thoughts. If you completely disagree with me, then that's totally cool. If you have any questions or anything like that, feel free to leave them in the comments down below. Have a good day. What's up? It is 5:15. The day is over, and I'm headed home for a meeting. So one thing that I want to have that is part of this vlog is maybe some like cool current events, some news stuff that has to do with running and some other things that I like, running, triathlon, etc. And so I wanted to share something that I think is really, really cool. This weekend is the Barkley Marathons, which is a race in Tennessee, in Frozen Head State Park. It's a 100-mile race, and they also have a 60-mile fun run. And every year it's a different course, a slightly different course. It's off-trail. It requires orienteering abilities, so like navigation. It is unmarked. Basically the way it works is there are books that are scattered throughout the park, and the runners have to get to all the books and have to tear out the page number for their bib number. And they have to make it to all the books. It's a 20-ish mile loop. They say it's 20 miles, but a lot of runners claim that that distance can vary pretty dramatically. So I have to tear out the pages from all the books in the 20-mile loop and then bring them back to base camp and turn them in. And if they have all the pages, then they're allowed to go back out for the next loop. Since this race started, and I actually don't know, it's a while, and I'll probably put like a subtitle here that says when it started. Since that race started, there have been, I think, 13 finishers. It's crazy. It's a really crazy event. A lot of people finish the fun run, but people very rarely make it even into the fourth, let alone the fifth loop. And a friend of mine, a local kind of running legend, local guy here in Phoenix, Jamil, who was in my old Pueblo video, briefly, he has tried it. I think this is going to be his third attempt. And the last time he tried it, he was the only runner that went out for a fourth loop. And while he was out there, he laid down to take a nap and ended up waking up like 8 hours later. And so he missed the cutoff. Obviously, everybody was very worried about him. And so he came into base camp way past the cutoff mark and wasn't able to finish. But he's doing it again this year, and so I'm excited for him. I hope that he does well. But yeah, that's one of those races that I think is really cool, but that I couldn't ever see myself trying. Like, that's pretty gnarly stuff. Also, this weekend is the Oceanside 70.3, a race that I did last year that was really, really fun. I'm going, but I won't be racing. I'm going to go support some race labbers. Nathan, Ashley, and Carlos are racing this weekend, and they're all expected to do a pretty stellar job. So that'll be really fun. I'm going to do a video of the weekend, and I'm going to try to post something while I'm out there if I get time to edit, but if not, then I will do kind of a weekend recap on Monday. So good stuff happening between Barkley's and Oceanside. If you're interested in following along with the Barkley's thing, it's kind of hard to follow along because there's literally no service out there. They say that you need to drive half an hour from the park just to get a bar of service. But if you follow the Twitter hashtag BM100, I think it is, then there's some people that are able to kind of post stuff. The other challenging thing about that race is they're not allowed to have GPS watches or anything. They're not allowed to have, like, they're allowed to have one compass to help them navigate. They're allowed to have the map of the area, and that's pretty much it. And this year they're not even allowed to bring their own watch. The organizer of the race, this crazy dude named Lazarus, he is actually providing them with a watch at the start line. And then, like, there's other little details, like the way that he starts the race is by lighting his cigarette. So the moment he lights his cigarette, that's the sign that the race has started. He wakes up everybody that's at the camp. He wakes them up in the morning with a conch shell horn that he blows to kind of get the day started. And yeah, so just funky stuff like that. Very old school ultra mentalities, but it's a legendary event. It's really, really cool. So yeah, Barkley's Oceanside. It's gonna be fun. And it also happens to be my birthday on Friday. 28 years old. Yeah, that's it. I'm gonna drive home now, have a meeting with my parents. Another non-action filled episode. But one thing I can tell you is that the excitement level of these episodes is going to increase dramatically within the next couple of months for reasons not yet publishable. But stay tuned, stick with me for the next couple months, and this vlog will hopefully get much more exciting. That's it. Thanks for watching. I'm just gonna say it one more time because I want to. Buy a shirt at the store, Showman and Mark. And there's a coupon code right now. It's first 10 go, first 10 go, all caps. If you use the coupon code, if you're one of the first 10 people to buy something using that coupon code, you'll get $10 off the cost of the shirt or of whatever you buy. So first 10 go. There's already been one person to use it, so there's only 9 slots left. So get on there and buy a shirt. Thanks, guys. Peace.